Good evening, everyone, and welcome to your channel, USA Trends 1.
This is the place where you'll find the latest trends, stories, and highlights straight from the heart of America. Let's get started. Okay, let's get into this. We're doing a deep dive today on a story that, well, it really seemed to come out of nowhere for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Not just, another celebrity split happens all the time, but this felt different. Built on this image of, total rock-solid commitment for almost 20 years.
19 years, yeah.
So our job today is basically to sift through it all, get the facts straight, look at the timeline, the history behind the separation of Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban.
And it really is a huge deal. You're talking about a 19-year marriage, navigating both Hollywood and Nashville. That's tricky territory.
For sure.
They weren't just a couple, they were almost a brand, built around this really intense connection we saw publicly.
Right.
Which makes the core fact here pretty jarring.
And that core fact, confirmed September 29th, 2025, is that Oscar winner Nicole Kidman, 58, and country star Keith Urban, 57, have broken up. They've separated after those 19 years.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is how fast it all seemed to happen, going from, this long-term thing to public knowledge.
Right.
They got together fast, married fast, and now, nearly 2 decades later, the split confirmation just sort of lands.
So abruptly.
It makes you think, how does a relationship that started with that kind of speed, then seemed so solid for so long, just reach this point so quickly, at least publicly?
Okay, let's dive into the immediate details then, the timeline, because this is where things start getting, interesting. News confirmed, end of September.
Yep.
We know the family situation. 2 daughters together, Sunday Rose, 17 now, and Faith Margaret, who's 14.
And Nicole's older kids too, of course, Isabella and Connor, from her marriage to Tom Cruise. They're adults now, 32 and 30.
But the key detail, the one that kind of rewinds the clock on this whole thing, came out before the official word.
Ah, yes. The TMZ report.
Exactly. That report came out September 19th, and a source told them that Nicole and Keith had actually been living apart.
Since the beginning of summer.
Since the beginning of summer. That completely changes the time frame.
It really does. That suggests maybe, 3 months? June, July, August? Living separately through the summer. And then the news breaks in late September.
Wow.
And the fact they kept things looking normal publicly during that time, that points to a very quiet, maybe very planned separation behind the scenes.
Keeping that public face intact while navigating a huge life change privately, that takes coordination.
It really does. Makes you wonder how long that separation was actually in the works before summer even started.
Did their teams say anything when the news finally broke?
Well, reports indicate that when outlets reached out after the September 29th confirmation, nothing. Reps for both sides apparently offered no comment.
Silence.
Which often suggests, that the parties are aligned on how to handle it, keep it clean, keep it quiet.
Okay, but wait. There was something else, wasn't there? Something that happened even before this reported summer separation, a kind of anomaly.
Ah, you mean the Portugal residency application?
Yeah.
Yes. That's a really crucial piece of the puzzle looking back.
Totally. This was 2 months before the split news even surfaced. Nicole Kidman applied to become a resident of Portugal.
Okay.
And the detail that really jumps out, Keith Urban's name wasn't on the form.
Wow. Okay. So initiating a major international move, seemingly solo.
Yeah. That feels significant.
Now, we do have to include the context that sources provided for that. There was an explanation given.
Right. What was that again?
They said his absence was just down to scheduling. He was apparently touring in the U.S., and the visa application required being there in person.
Ah, okay. Logistics.
And the source claimed he was scheduled to submit his application later on. So, maybe it was just timing.
It could be. A simple scheduling issue for a touring musician. Makes sense on the surface.
It does. That's the straightforward explanation. But you still have to look at the timing and the optics.
Yeah.
Even if he planned to join later, the fact is, one half of this very committed couple starts the process for a massive life change, getting residency in another country alone, weeks, maybe months before they quietly begin living apart.
It does suggest maybe priority shifting, or at least one person already exploring a different path, even if it wasn't permanent divorce yet.
Exactly. It suggests a divergence was already happening, maybe mentally or emotionally, before the physical separation began.
And it really throws their whole public image, that love story narrative, into sharp relief, doesn't it?
Completely. Because that narrative was all about shared path, shared commitment.
Let's look back at that, because you need that context to feel the weight of this split. They met, famously, at a gala in LA, 2005, married just a year later.
Super quick. But remember that story Nicole told on Ellen back in 2017?
Oh yeah, the 4 months thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She said she had such a crush on him and he wasn't interested in me. Said he didn't call her for 4 whole months after they met.
It wasn't instant fireworks for him, apparently.
Which makes their eventual intense connection seem, well, maybe harder one. Not just some easy whirlwind romance, like they had to overcome that initial bump.
And once they committed, wow, they seemed all in. Keith's quotes about her, really intense stuff.
Oh, yeah. Remember the Armchair Expert podcast interview in 2020? He called her the one that I was searching for my whole life.
Heavy.
But he also said something deeper about the change it required in him. He said when they got together, everything not only changed, but had to change in me if I was going to go that road.
That's powerful. It's not just I fell in love, it's I had to fundamentally transform myself for this relationship to work.
Right. It suggests a really high level of conscious effort and commitment right from the start, not just coasting.
And a big part of that commitment seemed to be geographical too, wasn't it? The move from Hollywood to Nashville in 2008.
Huge move. Trading the spotlight, in a way, for something quieter.
And Nicole talked about that very specifically. In 2019, she told people how proud she was of the life they built there. Said, "My roots are deeply embedded here."
Yeah, she painted this picture of real domesticity, didn't she? Their house, always full of kids, sometimes like 8 kids over for dinner after school.
Sounds very grounded. Very normal, almost, for superstars.
It really does. Rooting themselves in a community and family life away from the LA bubble.
Okay, so that brings us right up to the clash point. The public image versus the private reality. Let's look at their last year or so of public appearances. How did they keep up that image if things were starting to unravel by summer 2025?
Well, seemingly without missing a beat. I mean, earlier in 2024, you had that big family showing at the AFI Life Achievement Award Gala for Nicole.
Oh, right.
Not just Keith and their daughters, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret, but also Nicole's sister, brother-in-law, niece.
Yeah.
A whole family contingent showing support. Very public, very unified.
That's a big statement piece, visually.
Totally. And the personal stuff was still there, too. Keith posted that Instagram tribute for their 18th anniversary in 2024. A photo of him serenading her. Looks very sweet, very much them.
No signs of trouble there, not publicly anyway.
None at all. And, you know, that fits their pattern. For years, reports have always highlighted their public intimacy, that signature pose.
Ah, yes, the pose, leaning in, staring into each other's eyes.
Or the gentle face touch. We saw it constantly, didn't we? Cannes in 2013, the Oscars in 2017, various country music awards. Year after year, it was their thing.
But very deliberate, very consistent display of affection.
Meticulously maintained, you could say, a public brand of intense connection.
So you have that performance, that high wattage emotion right through 2024. And then, boom, reports say the private reality shifted dramatically in summer 2025 when they started living apart.
The contrast is just stark. It really highlights the pressure cooker of celebrity life, maybe. Maintaining that perfect romance brand right up until the foundations privately crumble.
Yeah, it makes you wonder about the sheer effort involved in keeping that up, especially if things were already difficult behind closed doors.
You have to assume it took immense energy, particularly during those alleged months of living separately while still needing to appear united when necessary.
The logistics alone. Whew. Before the news finally drops.
Exactly. We see the final headline, but we miss all the quiet, probably complicated steps that led up to it.
Okay, so wrapping this up, we've tracked this journey from that hesitant 4-month start to this deep 19-year commitment, rooted firmly in Nashville, defined by those quotes about personal change.
A whole life built there.
And then it ends. A confirmed separation announced just weeks after they reportedly started living in separate homes.
And that final takeaway, I think, has to circle back to that geographic tension we uncovered. Nicole spending years saying, "My roots are deeply embedded here in Nashville."
Their shared home, their family base.
Contrasted with the first concrete sign of divergence we found in the sources. One partner starting the process for residency continents away in Portugal, alone, months before the separation became known.
It's a real head-scratcher when you put it all together.
It really is. And it leaves us, and you listening, with a pretty provocative thought, I think.
Okay, what is it?
Well, if 19 years of marriage, those deeply embedded roots in a shared life, can shift so suddenly, to the point where exploring separate futures, separate continents even, starts happening while the public structure still looks perfect. What does that really tell us? What does it say about maybe the hidden efforts, the private calculus involved, when a shared path finally fractures, even when everything on the surface looks unbreakable? Something to think about, definitely.